Hello, hello! Happy Halloween! Okay, not quite yet, but nearly. Have we got people watching? I hope so. Ready to make this cool skeleton ghosty dude? I hope there are people there. Right. Oh, it's a bit hot under there. Hi! I'm Janette from Janette MacPherson Cakecraft, and we're going to go and make this cool ghost dude tonight. And Paul is telling me 50 minutes, no more. And you know what I'm like, so I better move on, or I am never going to get this done. So we'll just crack on. How are we all doing this evening? Good, I hope. I'm just going to move this over to the side, and I'm going to have to adjust my camera so you can see if it's happening. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to keep it down there so you can see what's happening. So just give me a wee thumbs up and things that you can see me all okay. I think I can see you. Can I see comments? I don't know. Anyway, right. So we're going to make this wee dude, okay? So the first thing we're going to look at is the cauldron. And then we're going to work out how to do the ghost. I'll show you how to do the ghost. So the cauldron, I just made mine out of... Hi, everybody. I just made mine out of Rice Krispie treats, okay? So a little ball of Rice Krispie treats, and you need to make a little hole in it, and I'll explain that later on. You can probably guess why, okay? So that is the sort of shape. Hi, Anna. Hi, Kat. Oh, they're all coming in now. Las Vegas. Woo! Hello. Right. So, yes, you need to make a little ball of Rice Krispie treats. Or if you want to make it out of cake, you could make it out of cake. Or maybe, you know, chocolate biscuit cake, anything like that. I just made mine out of Rice Krispie treats to make it a bit easier. So once you've done that with the little hole... Hi, Lorraine. Looking forward to this one. Good. Let's hope it works. So once I've done that... I just ganached the outside edge of it, okay? I didn't ganache the whole thing, just the outside edge, and then covered it. So I covered it with green on the top. Now you can see why I didn't ganache it, so that you get that nice kind of lumpy, bumpy look to your bubbling cauldron, okay? And I just covered the rest of it in grey. Hi, Tracy. Oh, the boss is on. All right, Paul. Hello, hello. So once I'd covered it, I then took a little texture mat. This is like it's a Goosebumps texture mat, I think it's called. Hello from Michigan. Hi, Kelly. So, and I just used the texture mat all the way around the cauldron like this to give it a little bit of texture so you can see there, hopefully. It's like a kind of like it might be hammered metal or something like that, just to give it a little bit more interest, okay? So that's basically the stage that you need to get to. And then, I'm going to move this dude to one side. Hi Judy, hi Julie. Lots of yous on, that's nice. Okay, so here we have our cauldron. And I just added a couple little handles on, and I added a little rim. Now that's just a sausage of grey paste, okay? You can see the difference here, okay? Little sausage of grey paste round the top to hide your edges. Sorry, I'm getting distracted by the comments. Alison, hello from a not so sunny Leith in Edinburgh. Oh man. Oh, Kelly, hello, hello, man. Okay, so just a little rim on the edge of your cauldron to hide those edges that you had, okay? So that's all fairly straightforward so far. So the next thing we needed to do then on the cauldron here, I've got like a nice skull and crossbones just to give it a bit more oomph, a bit more excitement. Hi, Elizabeth. So for that, I've used a little skull and crossbones mould. So I'll just pop it out. So this is all, this is modelling paste actually, and this, it's Cake Duchess modelling paste that I use. Hello there. Hi Wendy. So yeah, so it just makes a really cool little skull and crossbones. But if you don't have a skull and crossbones, you could use anything you like, just whatever you've got, little spiders or, I don't know, domes or anything like that, just to give it a wee bit more interest, okay? So I'm just going to grab a little bit of edible glue. Hi Doris, hi Karen. Loads of yous on, how nice. Right, let's get a wee bit of edible glue. Just pat it on the back of this. And we'll stick it onto the front there. Like so. Oh man, here I go again with my hand, like so. My boy tells me I say that all the time. So just popping it on the front there, whatever you like. A little bit more spooky, okay? So Kevin, hello, Kevin from Inverness. Yes, next door, hello. Okay, so just pop that on there at the front. So you can see that the cauldron is pretty easy to set up and get going, okay? The main thing today is going to be this ghost. I'll show you how I did that mainly, okay? But we'll hopefully get a chance to dust that up at the end as well with a bit of colour, okay? So that's your cauldron for just now. We will add some little bubbles and things on the top, but we'll just do that at the end. So next we need to talk about the ghost. So I'm just going to move, can you see that okay? I think you can. Whoops, there we are. Evening Carol. So the ghost structure. This is a wooden dowel basically, just like your wooden cake dowels or bamboo cake dowels, okay? So it's just those. And I've got one here for the structure for the ghost and one here for the big staff that he's using to study his cauldron, okay? So all I've started doing here, oh, my skull's fallen off. What are you doing that for? Stick back on. Okay, so this is modelling chocolate. Now I make my own modelling chocolate. If you've watched my demos before, you'll know that. It's basically candy, it's like candy plates. Candy melts and syrup. I'll try and remember to put the recipe on at the end. I always say that and forget, but I'll try and remember. Hi Karen. Hi Dawn. Love your character behind your Mr. T. Oh, cool, thank you. These guys over here, yeah, look, there's Mr. T, wondering what the heck I'm on about. Look at his face. What are you on about, wifey? Oh man, oh dear, I'm a wee owl. Okay, so yeah, modelling chocolate. So I make my own, and I like it because it's just, it's really sculptural and holds really well, so it's really good for making structures underneath sugar paste and things, okay? So all I've done is just started to build up a wee bit of structure at the back here to hold it, okay? Nothing fancy, just literally whacking it on. Christine Giles. Hi Janette, love your work. Oh, thanks Christine. Okay, so we're just building this up. Now I'm not building it up in any sort of particular form because I don't really want a particular form on him. I want him to be quite ghost-like and moving and as if there's not really much to him underneath. You could build it up like a skeleton body if you want, so he's maybe got a rib cage as well. That would look really smart actually. Why didn't I think of that before? But you can do what you like, basically. I'm just going to build it up just like a thin kind of structure. So this is the modelling chocolate, and you can see it just blends in. Squish it all on. You really don't need to do anything kind of fancy with that until you've got this kind of wee structure. So I'll give it a wee bit more width at the top here. You can see, yep, there we are. Just so you're building up to just underneath the oxters, as we'd call them in Scotland. Armpits, I believe everyone else calls them. So we'll just build that in. And it's a good idea if you can leave this to kind of harden off and dry a wee bit, okay? That's why I did this bit first, so that we could get a wee bit of strength to it, but it's pretty solid. If you find it's not solid enough, just put that dowel down into your board. Just make a wee hole and you can even hot glue it in if you're really worried about it, okay? But because of the support of the cauldron, it needs to sort of hold. You know, it can hold quite well. Need an eyeball floating on the top. Yeah, totally. You could put anything you like in your worms, anything. Okay, so now this dowel is just covered with a little bit of the modelling chocolate as well. And again, I just squidged it on, make it kind of rough so it's kind of looks like maybe it's a wooden staff or something like that. Hi, Erica from Arizona. Cool. Okay, so that's all that is. So now we need to build on the arms. And for that, you can use aluminium modelling wire, but you can also use florist wire. So I'm going to use florist wire today so that you can see. That's something that you'll probably have more likely at home, so I'm going to show you that today. Okay, so I'm just going to take a few bits out. This is white florist wire, it's 24 gauge. Now, if you feel like it's a wee bit on the bendy side stuff that you've got, okay, you can twist pieces together to make it a little bit stronger. So that's what I am going to do. If I can, I'll just twist one round. It's a bit faffy, but there you go. Round and round. Are we all managing to follow this, hopefully? 50 minutes is not long, do you know that? Goes fast, dead quick. Right. So have you been watching all day? I hope so. I'm going to go back and watch a few that I missed. Right, okay, so you can see that's twisted, and that makes it a little bit stronger and a little bit more easy to kind of hold its shape, okay? So all I'm going to do, now these two pieces are non-edible pieces, I would class them as, okay? These are like decorative pieces that you would take off and then you would eat, whether it's Rice Krispie treats or cake or whatever it is that you've made your cauldron out of, okay? So this, I'm not worried about using wire in here, okay? Because this is definitely non-edible. So if you're giving this as a customer, make sure, oh, that skull, make sure you tell them that that would be a non-edible part just to be removed, just like you would a flower or whatever on your cake, you know? So I've just twisted that round to hold it on, and then I'm going to make two kind of elbows like this, yeah, sticking outside here, and then I'm going to attach them onto this, just the same way, just wind it round. It's pretty straightforward, nothing too difficult, hopefully. I'm just going to use my wee pliers to trim that off. And I remember to hold on to that, that was good. Normally I forget and it goes pinging across my kitchen. Right, there's one on. And then the other one, we'll do the same, we'll just twist it round. There we go. Christine, I need to go to an optician now. Oh, do you mean you got the wire in your eyeball? Oh my goodness, I hope not. Right, I'm holding on just in case. There we go. So pop that out of the way, okay? And that's all you really need to do for those. Nothing too difficult, okay? So it's fairly straightforward because there's not going to be a heck of a lot of weight hanging on these. You'll see why in a minute. So that's really all you need for structure on this, okay? Now, I'm just going to add, like I did with the body, I'm just going to add like a little wee bit of structure to it. Well, not structure, a wee bit of kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Bulk, that's the word, bulk. So just maybe up at the shoulders, add a little bit in. Ooh, I'm getting sticky. It's warm in my kitchen tonight. Too warm. Okay, so just adding a little bit around the shoulder area so that when we make the robes, they've got kind of a structure underneath it that's kind of loosely human skeleton looking. Kate, hi Kate. Hi Liliana, hi Serene. Did I say it's 24 gauge wire? Yes, I did. So I used 24 gauge wire and I twisted two pieces together. And that is enough to kind of hold the weight for this. So I'm just going to add a few more wee bits on here. To kind of flesh that out. On a skeleton who has no flesh. You know what I mean. So, a little bit more there. So hopefully you can see what I'm trying to do. Okay, just build a little bit of bulk. You don't need full, I want them to look quite skinny and scrawny and a bit sort of creepy like that, you know, so I don't really want them too bulky, but just enough to kind of hold the fabric then. Okay. Now, if you get the elbows in the wrong place, don't worry, you can just rebend them. But that looks all right to me. I think we'll go with something like that. Okay, there we are. So that is the main body, and that is the arms kind of structure built. So I'm just popping a wee bit of a neck on there. I'm going to add a little bit at the front as well. You'll see why in a second. There we are. Okay, now the head. I'm just going to grab my cloth, 2 seconds. Oh, I'm still here. I haven't gone anywhere. Just grabbing my cloth. That's better. Okay, you didn't see that. I didn't go anywhere. I'm still here. Hi Karen, how are you doing? Okay, so that's him nicely made there. Just get him in a nice shape there. Okay, so the head. For the head, I used another mould, okay? So this mould is a skull mould. Now if you have a skull and crossbones mould, I guess you could probably use that again. But I used, this is another mould that I have. It's actually for making ice cubes, I think. I'm not sure where I got it, I think it was Amazon or something like that. And when you bring the skulls out, I like it because it's got such good detail on it, you see that? Got really cool detail, like lots of teeth and things, so I tried to find one that was fairly detailed. And that's the one I found best. So I've tried using it with isomalt, and where did it go? Here. So I did use it with isomalt, which did sort of work. It was a bit bubbly, though I'm not an isomalt expert. You need to see Sydney's tutorials for that. And I thought that would look really cool, but actually a modelling paste one looked better, caught the light better for some reason or other, so that's what we're going to use today, the modelling paste one, okay? So I've just made a little hole in the bottom to hold it, okay? You can see, good. So I'm just going to pop it on here. Now, you want the head to be tilting slightly down. You see, he's kind of looking down into the cauldron. The reason for that is, when we pop the light in, you want to be able to catch all the features. So you can see on this one, it kind of catches the face. You can see the sockets and the nose and all the deep shadows. It just brings all that out. So if you have it facing up, it's just going to catch his chin. Yeah? So you're not going to see any of the details. So make sure his head's tilted down. So just pop that on. And then on the back, I'm just going to build a little bit more structure again. And again, you really don't need to worry about the shape of this at all, because you're trying to get it to look wispy and not smooth or anything, you know, so don't worry too much. Just whack it on, okay? So that'll help support it. Just a little bit at the back here. How are we doing for time? Oh, it's on 1:15. Okay. So, once we've built that on, there we are. It looks pretty good. Okay, so you can see it beginning to take its form. Okay, and that's all. Once this all dries, the modelling chocolate and everything, that will be really solid. You can see on this one, it really doesn't move hardly at all. This one's a wee bit wobbly till we get it all fully covered and dried up, okay? But it does dry up really solid, so no worries about structure or anything, okay? Okay. Now, I am just going to add a little bit round here of my modelling chocolate. Sometimes I mix it with sugar paste. I'm actually going to use that because it makes it a wee bit easier to paint. Judy loved the skull mould. Yeah, it's really cool, isn't it? I think I bought it on Amazon, but it's definitely an ice cube mould, so hopefully you guys can find out. That's what it looks like. So it's covered nice in sugar actually, but anyway. That's what it looks like. It's in two pieces, so there's like a back piece where you can, and it comes with a little funnel if you want to make ice cubes. So that's pretty cool for your Halloween drinks, isn't it? Okay, so this is modelling chocolate and sugar paste mixed together. Just 50-50, roughly. So I'm going to add that just around the hands to kind of hold those wires in place. And finish off the wee staff bit as well. The wee wooden staff. Get that stuck on there, it's a bit sticky. Oh man, it's roasting in here, but I'm also sitting with that skeleton mask on my head, which won't be helping. It's roasting. Okay, do pop that back on. There. You can spend time fiddling about with this to get it all looking superb. But I am just gonna whack it on. Lorraine, I will definitely be having a go at this. Yes, go for it, Lorraine. It's a really cool wee thing to make. Even the cauldron on its own is quite a cool wee thing to make, so. Or the ghost for other cakes, you know. Mix and match. Right, there we go. Filled that bit in. Okay. So we'll put his hands round it afterwards as well. Okay. That's me happier with that. Let me see. Yeah, he's looking good. Okay. So you can see how I built the hood section up here as well, just a wee bit. You can if you want, like on this one, it comes to a point, which I think looks pretty cool, but you don't really need to build it up because you can build it up with a fabric, but we'll put a little bit in just to help it a wee bit. So we'll just make a wee kind of triangle bit at the top, because it was a wee bit fiddly to try and get that when I made it last time. So let's make it easier on ourselves. Sarah, so love your work, this is brilliant. Oh, thanks. Cheers, Sarah. Okay, so I've given him a wee hood, yeah? Like that, just a wee hood shape at the back. Okay. Right, let me think now. Do we do the next fabric bit? I think we do the fabric. Yes, I think we'll do the fabric. Okay, so I'm going to move the modelling chocolate out of the way. This gets a bit messy, this bit. And the little skull. And the other skull. All the moulds. Let's make ourselves a bit of room here. Alright. Try and keep him in the picture so you can see, but it's maybe going to be a wee bit tricky. Was that modelling chocolate and gum paste? For here, it was modelling chocolate and sugar paste. So the modelling chocolate I make myself, and the sugar paste is Cake Duchess sugar covering paste, which is brilliant. And I also use the modelling paste in that as well. Superb stuff. I also use her tools. She's fantastic. Loads of really good products. Okay, so this is us ready to do the fabric. Where did I put it? There. Okay. Wafer paper. Some sheets. Oh, I'm running out of room. Gosh, I always take up so much room when I make cakes. Is everyone else the same? They're all super neat. Okay. Right, so the other thing I'm using is fabric liquid. Now there's loads of different ways to make edible fabric, I know that, and there, gelatin and all sorts, I've seen all sorts of things done. Wafer paper and fabric liquid is just what I had in my house, so I decided to use that. And it worked really well. And I love Cake Duchess products. Yep, totally, me too. Okay, so with the wafer paper, we're just going to tear pieces, okay? So make sure all your edges of the pieces that you use are torn, so you don't have any sort of straight edges, because this guy does not have a tailor. He hasn't got little, you know, like elves making nice, neat fabric for him. It's this, okay? Raggedy looking stuff. So just tear pieces off, but all the edges so they're all torn, okay? And then spray them with fabric liquid, okay? So it's just like a really cool little spray that makes it sort of bendable without ripping, okay? A little bit more. I hope I don't run out of this. I've used loads the other day. I'm hoping I don't run out today. Okay, so then I just start piecing it in. So I start piecing on the inside, so at the front here, kind of like the inside body. So I start filling that in first. Now it tends to sort of stick itself, usually, hopefully, and it just kind of crinkles up and makes loads of really cool fabric folds. Are you catching that okay? Hopefully you can see that okay. Yeah. So we're just going to continue doing that all the way round it. Now I've run it, I need a wee bit more on this, I'm just going to give it a wee spray. Okay, so just, you're kind of wrapping the body, I suppose, just now, till we get most of it done. So just wrap in loads and loads of pieces. Small pieces, big pieces. Can you please repeat what kind of paper you use? Yes, this is edible wafer paper. Now, stuff I've got is, does it say what thickness it is? It doesn't actually. It's just edible wafer paper, there's no thickness on it, okay? But there's loads of different types out there, so I don't think it matters too much. So you have to be careful because it does kind of want to stick to your fingers, but there we are. And slowly building it up. Where do I buy fabric liquid, please? I believe the cake decorating company have it. You can check on their website. Hopefully one of them is watching and they can tell you. But I believe that's where I got it from. So around the back here I've just stuck another piece on. So I'm just really working round. What's in your spray bottle? What spray are you using? Okay, so I'll just cover that again. So the spray I'm using is fabric liquid, okay? And it's a spray that when you spray it on wafer paper, this is edible wafer paper, it makes it like a fabric. It makes it soft and malleable, and you can make it into nice folds rather than it just cracking. So you can see the nice folds there. Okay, so when we dust it at the end then, it picks up all the detail. You can see how it's picked up all the detail of that, you know? Gives it a really good texture. So, Fabra Liquid is the spray, and edible wafer paper is the paper we're using, okay? So, a few more pieces of this. And just wrap them, like I was saying, all over the body, anywhere you like, to give it nice kind of folds and creases and bulk it up. Okay, so then when we come to the arms, we'll do them next. Looks great, also nice for making a witch. Yeah, absolutely. You can make loads of different clothing types with this, but for Halloween it's going to be brilliant, isn't it? So just make sure you rip the edges, like I was saying, so you get nice rough edges rather than tailored edges, as it were. Okay, so on the arms, what I'll do there is just kind of drape some pieces over. So I'll just pop it in the inside there and drape some over. And you can leave it hanging like that and it will all dry in place. Isn't that cool? So sometimes you have to be careful because it can shrink a little bit. Not massively, but it can shrink a wee bit. So I tend to make things slightly longer than I maybe need them. Just because I know it's going to shrink up a wee bit. You can see how easy that is. You're just whacking them on there, you know, there's no rhyme or reason to any of this. I just whack it on in place, build it all up, yeah? So same on the other side. We'll start building this one up. I'll just squidge him in a bit, he's getting a bit bulky there. Same on this side again, so a bit more. You could dress a mummy with it, absolutely. Absolutely, Anna. Loads of uses. So let's pop that in again. I can see it all in all sorts of things actually. You know, like werewolves with all the ripped clothes and oh, that'd be cool. I expect to see lots of wafer paper cakes after this. Lots of wafer paper models. Okay? So just building it up nicely. Constantly checking my time here. Fast, fast, fast. I'm fasting, Paul. I hope you're impressed. So a little bit more here. Yep, that's looking pretty cool. That might actually be better than the original one. Look at that. So if I show you on here, this one shrunk a little bit at the back, so I would always let it dry. So if you can see there, so it shrunk up a little bit, there's a gap. So what I would do is just let it dry, and then once it's all dried and given a wee bit of time to settle where it's going to settle, then I would just put another layer on top, maybe just to help cover up those gaps. So there we have it. For the longer pieces, at the back, so like right down his back, Etty! Hi! Oh, Etty is the person who makes these fabulous Cake Duchess products, by the way. Hello, lovely. Perfect for zombies. Yep, Anna, you're full of the great ideas. Loads and loads and loads and loads of models can be made at Halloween with this torn paper. Okay? So, longer pieces. I'll try and do this without seeing what I'm doing, that's very interesting. So maybe just letting it drape down a little bit. And again, just kind of folds as you go. Try not to put it on too flat, no pressure on us. No, Charlotte, no pressure at all. I want to see your cakes. You'd better. There we are. So you can see how it bulks out like billowing kind of cloak. You know, it's really cool. Ooh, where are we? More paper. And I love that you don't need to be accurate and neat. You'll see this with a lot of my demos. I'm always just whacking this stuff on. But it's nice because you don't have to have the full bulk of a modelling paste figure underneath or anything like that. You can, you know, you really can just billow it out and mould it to the way you want it to be without that big heavy base underneath. Some more pieces. I'm just hanging them off the back. Oh, keep forgetting to show you that way. Okay. So simple. So yeah, you just kind of continue doing that until you're happy with what it's looking like. I'll show you this side. That's the side that's a bit more done. Yeah. Doesn't it look cool? And so quick as well. You just need to wait for it to dry. That's one thing. If you're going to dust it or paint, well, not paint it, but if you're going to dust it afterwards, it's better to wait until it dries. Pretty much. Okay, so for the hood. For the hood, we need a piece kind of shaped something like this at the top. Okay. And I'll show you. We'll build it up in sections, but just line up that flatter section at the top here. Oh, I need a bit more liquid. Hang on. There we go. Line that up along the top of his head. Oh, sticking to my fingers. There we are. You can see it's like halfway along his head. Yeah. And that's going to give us the sort of pointy hood look. There we are. It's a little bit more. Keep going with that. Again, remembering to tear all the edges. You've given us many ways to use it, thank you. Oh, I think it was actually Anna that gave us loads of ways to look at it, to use it. Thanks, Anna. But yes, you're welcome. So I would just then, I want to bring the hood forward a bit, so he's like really hooded. You know, you want it almost hanging over his face, so you're kind of hiding his face. So again, from the top. If I turn that way, that's maybe easier to see. Yeah, there. And down to his shoulder then, so drape it from the top of his head down to his shoulder. Okay, and that'll give you that hood kind of effect. Now, the weight of a hood would kind of fall, oh, you can't see my shoulders. The weight of a hood would kind of fall in on the shoulders a wee bit. So just knock it in a wee bit there. So like it's lying on his shoulders. You want to get the weight of the fabric as well, yeah? Okay. I need a bigger piece. There we go. Hope this isn't super loud for you guys listening. Elizabeth, my children Donald and Elsa want you to know your skeleton is amazing. Oh, Donald and Elsa. Thank you. And thanks for watching as well. Good for you. Right. Running out. Okay. So I'll just do a few more pieces of this so you get the rough idea, and then we'll start looking at the rest of it as well, because we want to make sure that we get the light in. So you basically then for the other side, you're trying to match this up. Same thing on the other side, so from the top of the head, so you end up with a little seam of fabric, okay? Past the skull, so it's that kind of hooded look, and then down onto his shoulder. So you see the weight of fabric is actually already wanting to do it itself. You can see that when it hits a shoulder or something, it wants to drape over. So just let it do that. Once it's wet, it does kind of tend to work like fabric, so you can kind of just let it do what it actually wants to do, and that'll give you the more realistic kind of look. And then at the back, I would just push those two pieces together if you can. But what I would do is, I built this up in loads of layers, okay? So, I mean, I'd be here for like the whole 50 minutes doing it if I did the whole thing, but if you just layer it and layer it and layer it until it's all kind of looking like this side. Okay? So there we have, that's basically how do you use a particular type of wafer paper? Can't speak. Wafer paper? Oh, do you use a particular type of wafer paper, please? I do not. I just use whatever I find online when I'm doing my usual cake shopping, so there's no particular brand or anything. But I do know the Cake Decorating Company has it, so you can have a look on their website. A little bit more. Okay. So that's probably enough fabric for you to get an idea. So just cover the sleeves right up to the hand or the wrist, and make sure you cover all the back. So right the way down to the bottom, all the way around. And then when you're doing the hood, like I was saying, if you've got that modelling chocolate underneath to give that wee point, that makes it kind of easier. I think the first time I did it without, and it was a wee bit on the tricky side, I would say, so this is probably easier. Just build a wee bit of structure for that pointy bit, and just when you're laying the wafer paper on, start from the top of the head down towards the shoulders. So top of the head down to the shoulders, head, shoulders. Anyone want to finish that? Sorry, missed what the spray was. That's okay, Jane. It was Fabra Liquid. Okay. What are you spritzing? Yes, this is what I'm spritzing the paper with. Okay, so Fabra Liquid and edible wafer paper, guys. Really, really easy. It would be good to use this method on an Assassin's Creed kit. Yes, it would. That would be absolutely perfect as well. Absolutely. Loads of things. It's just brilliant for fabric in general, isn't it? So, any cloaked, hooded kind of character. Okay. So now that we've done that, we'll move that to one side, out of the way. And I'll get all my wee bits out of the way as well. So, I sometimes end up with like leftover bits. Just keep them all because it's brilliant for this sort of thing. So, you know, just keep all your wee bits that you rip off. Don't waste it, kind of. Just keep it all. You'll find a use. Okay, so I'll move that out of the way. Right, so that is how you do the wafer paper, okay? Which is the side that's covered more. That side, right, I'll leave it to that side for you. Okay. Evil Cake Genius sells some that's also called Paper Potion. Yes, there are loads of different ones, so, you know, just try them and see how you get on. This is just what I had here, so that's why I'm using it. But if you have something else that you use in a similar sort of way, then, you know, feel free to crack on. Okay. Now, what next? Hands. We'll model some hands. So the hands are really simple. You can see here, they're like sausages, basically. Like little sausages. Can we just spray water instead? I would say no. I've no doubt you probably could if you were super careful, but if you spray water, it tends to disintegrate the paper, so I would try not do that. I would definitely use one of the liquids that's more specifically for it, okay? I find, like I was saying with the water, that it just tends to go right through it and rip it, and it's really difficult to then do anything like this. With the sprays, it holds it together more, so it's a bit more elasticy feeling when you're using it, okay? There's a little bit of stretch to it, and you know, it's just, yeah, it's just much better than water, I would say, okay? So, now we'll do the hands. So the hands, I'm just going to use some of this modelling chocolate sugar paste mix. For anyone that missed the start, it was modelling chocolate that I make myself, so like candy clay, and the sugar paste I use is Cake Duchess covering paste. So I'm just going to roll little sausages of paste. What have I done with the knife? There we are. Little sausages of paste. I watched another artist and she uses odd cut-offs mixed with water to make her glue for attaching bits. That's interesting. I shall give that a go. Yeah, I don't like any waste. I try and avoid waste and stuff, so I just kind of use up what I can. Okay, so the hand, the fingers, sorry. Well, the hand, basically, it is just fingers. We're just going to wrap a few little sausages around to make a hand. So I tend to do, from where the sort of wire attaches, I do them above that. Sorry, I'm turning it around just so I can see where I'm putting them, but there. Okay, literally just sticking them on. The boss is back. Keeping an eye. I'm doing fine. Other than Cam, what time are we? We've got 10 minutes. Yeah, cool. We're doing good. Okay, so another little finger. So I just do four of these little sausages, basically. For each hand, obviously. But I really didn't model them terribly well. I just, you know, they really are literally just stuck on. I'm sure you could model all the wee knuckles and all sorts, but I'm just going to do them simply like that. Little sausages. When it's that small a detail, it sometimes doesn't matter. Okay? Alright, so that's one. And then the other one just below. So coming round from the outside, where the hand joins, round to the front. It's really quick. And there we go. Another quick two. There we are. Done. Oh, Am I one short? I'm one short. Oh, one short. Oh, put it up the way like that. Okay. So once I put the hands on, like this, then I just make sure that the wafer paper is actually covering right up to them, like I did on here. Yeah? So if you've got a gap, just stick another bit of wafer paper on. Pretty simple. Okay. So let me think. We have done that. We've done the wafer paper, we've done the hands. So now, dusting. I'll speak about, oh well, chains. I'll speak about chains and dusting. Right, chains. For the chains round the bottom here, yeah, I used a chain mould, which I have no idea where I got it from. Someone will recognise it and put it in the comments, hopefully. So yeah, a little chain mould. I think you normally use them for bags and things, but you know, it's pretty cool on this. So just a little chain mould for, sorry everyone, this one. There you are. Looks kind of cool. So it comes out, if I can lift this without breaking it, which I probably won't. Oh. Like this. Yep. And you can just whack them around the base there. I'll add to the atmosphere. There we go. Hi Mary. Okay. So the other things I added were little pumpkins. I have some here. So the pumpkins, I mean they're pretty straightforward. A little ball of orange sugar paste, or well, modelling paste it was, sorry, the Cake Duchess modelling paste. And I use a little knife and I just run round where the little marks are for the pumpkin. So just round like that to make a tiny little pumpkin and a tiny little bit of green on the top. They're really, really simple, so I'm not running through that too much. So a few of them, add them on. Looks pretty cool. Wait a minute, we'll put that one around there. There, maybe one at the front there. Yeah. Building it up, lots of little details. And I get me a chain. Yes. Sorry. I couldn't sit and make all the links individually. I quite often do without moulds, but for this, no, I'm not saying making a chain. It would take forever. I'm so slow as it is. Oh, right, okay, so there we go. So dusting is another thing I'll talk about. So for the cauldron, I don't know if you can pick, oh yes you can. It's like a sort of bronzy colour dusted over it. So for that I need a brush. Another brush, soft brush. For that I used Faye Cahill's Copper. It's a brilliant colour, I love this. And I just used it dry, and I took a little bit on my brush. Look at that, can you see the colour of that? It's amazing. Okay, so a little bit on my brush, a dry brush, and I just kind of dust over to catch some of the detail. Can you see that, hopefully? Lift it up again. Yeah? So when you dust a little on, it just catches some of the detail. You're not trying to cover, like, paint the whole thing copper. You just really want to pick up some of the sort of detailing that you've done and some of the texture on the cauldron as well. You know, to pick up some of that. So just a quick brush around that. Okay? That's all I did for that. Love her colours. Oh, I know, Suzanne, they're amazing, aren't they? So just, yeah, dust around that. Okay, so that's all I would do in the cauldron to give it that nice bronzed colour, so that it looks like this when you're done. Okay, so again, be messy as you like, always good. So that's why it's quicker. Okay, just whack it on. And then for the ghost character, I used just a black dust. And I did kind of the same pretty much, just whacking it on. There's my black dust, black dust, black dust, black dust. Oh, what had I on my black dust here? Oops. Oh, there. There's black. Fractal black. I can get this open. Yes. Okay, so I've got, how long left? 5 minutes left? Oh, we're doing fine. Perfect. Right, so I'm going to grab another soft brush, if I can reach them. Here we are. I'm going to use this one, quite a big one. It's soft. Okay, I'm just going to grab a tiny little bit of the black dust, not too much, and you need to wait until this dries, okay? So if you try and do it when it's wet, it'll get really sort of almost like a paint then, so you don't really want that, okay? But I'm just feeling if I can maybe do a little bit of this. I can show you on this one anyway. We'll try and do a little bit on this. Right, so in with the brush, into folds, so like little creases and folds that you've got on the back or down the sides. That's really where you want to be focusing, okay? But it'll do the same, so you can see there, hopefully. Can you see that? Just the same as when you were doing the copper, you're just trying to catch some of the edges of the wafer paper. You don't want to cover the whole thing black. You really are just trying to catch some of the edges that you've made and maybe right into the folds a little bit more. Okay? Just catching some of the detail, not painting the whole thing black. And when you keep going like that, it builds up to this. So the areas I concentrated on, you can see down either side of the body on the inside, dust that quite dark so it gives you a really good shadow, okay? And it just makes it a little bit more 3D looking, round the sort of sides of the face, okay? And then I also, is that dry? Yeah, that's dry. And just in where the skull is, I just, oh, I can't see this way. Oh, I've knocked my pumpkin off. Let me see there, yeah, okay. So in there, in at the eye sockets, yeah, to darken that up too. Try and catch some of the teeth maybe in at the nose, that sort of thing, okay? Just to catch the detail, you see the difference that makes, yeah? The paper would make a good zero. Yes, the dog, yes, that would be brilliant. Okay, so just keep working away like that until it's all built up to make this kind of dusty looking hooded creepy dude, as Paul called it. Creepy dude. Oh, dearie me. Okay, so last thing, it's a creepy dude with lights, so we'd better do that bit. If you've watched any of my demos before, you'll know that I use little coloured lights. These are called finger lights or something like that, but you do get normal ones like balloon lights. Balloon lights is the best ones to get. Wrap them, okay? Don't put anything in a cake, any lights in a cake without wrapping them. It has to not touch the cake, okay? I'll say that about 100 times probably before the end of this. Must wrap your lights, do not put them in where they are touching the cake, okay? And you just pop that, oh, it helps if I put the switch on first. Switch on. So when I wrap them, I actually leave a little gap until I'm ready to pop it in, and then once I've put the light on, I cover it up completely and then pop it in, okay? So this is a green light, we're going to pop it in there. And not very good in this light because it's too light, but it catches, you have to angle it so it catches the face, okay? In fact, hang on. Aha, I have a cardboard box to help with this light situation. I don't know if you'll see that better. Oh yeah, there we go. See if I can turn this around just. Yeah, so you see how that is catching his face, yeah? It's really important that you angle it to do that, okay? And then last thing, bang on time, look at me. When have I ever been on time? This is amazing. So I've rolled a heap of little sugar paste balls in the same green as the top, and we're just going to fill it with them. Ta-da! And you can stick them in if you want in place, okay? And then that is pretty much it done, other than you can paint the staff brown if you want, or whatever. If you want it metalled and paint it black, any of that sort of thing, okay? And that is how you make this, okay? So I hope, I still got my skeleton on, look. I hope you enjoyed making this. Da-da-da. Any questions, pop them in the comments, and I'll come back on, once I've had a cup of tea, I'll come back on and I'll answer them all if I can, okay? So any questions, just pop back on and I will message them. Thank you so much for watching. Big Kel's up next. Kelly McWilliam, here we go. Have fun, enjoy. Thanks for watching, guys. See you later, bye-bye.